Hey, 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 good morning to those of you in the morning time. Just as I'm going started, there are a bunch of birds. Oh, wait, I did a thing and I didn't really do it correctly. Can you guys hear me? I just realized I got all set up to plug in my microphone, but I didn't actually take it out of the case. So let me know if you can hear me. You should. I should be using the computer microphone now. We're going to see what happens in a minute. Ba, 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 ba. Are you ready to hear me sing? Are you? It's very good singing, I tell you. Okay, KB says we can hear me. Paratrooper girls, you can hear me. Thank you very much, y'all. All right, I'm now gonna. Hold on. I'm gonna switch over to a microphone so you can hear me better. Because whenever I don't use the mic, somebody gets on here talking to me crazy. All right, this should be better than before. Hi, friends. Okay, I called this a party. I said we were just gonna do party stuff, but I have no idea what we're doing. I have cake. I have chocolate covered strawberries. I have Prosecco. Wherever you are in the world, I hope you have something that brings you joy of some sort. It's most likely Sunday morning for most of you. Thank you for all the birthday loves. Yesterday was a good day. Yesterday was my birthday. I spent the entire day until dinner in bed, just chilling. It's what I wanted to do because I've been traveling so much. I haven't really had like a don't do anything all day. Like even when I was in Amsterdam and I didn't leave the hotel room, I was doing work during the days. Yesterday, I just did nothing. I don't work on my birthdays. So yeah, it was nice to kind of just have that day of like just hanging. So thank you to all of you for being here with me. It is not my birthday today, and yet I still did nothing today as well. Yesterday was beautiful and sunny and gorgeous until about 3 o'clock. I left for dinner around 5:30. It was foggy, like the weather report read foggy. Today it's been in the 50s and cloudy all day. So between waking up and not feeling great and then that outside, I was like, what if I just stayed inside again? So that's what I did. So I'm feeling good, feeling a little rested. I didn't nap either day, which is truly a problem for me. But still feeling good. What do I want to talk about? I'm in Edinburgh, in Scotland. What should I tell you? I'm in Scotland. It is evening. I'm on, what day am I of being on the road? Let me tell y'all, because I'm tired. Overall, I am tired. I will tell you that. It is day 51 out of 73 days of adventure season. So I'm a little bit more than 2/3 of the way through. I did go down the Royal Mile. I went up the Royal Mile to the castle, but I'm kind of like in the middle and I didn't go down the other way to the palace that was on the other end. I was going to do that today, but like I said, 50 degrees and cloudy. Not for me. So, y'all got questions. Miss Callie wants to know, what are the men like in Scotland? Old? Kenyan? I haven't really had a lot of encounters with men here. I'm trying to think of the men that like traditionally what we would think of when we think of Scottish men that I've met here. One was really tall. He was a tour guide. Another one, I didn't really ask him if he was Scottish, but you know, he looks, if you're identifying a Scottish person on the lineup, you'd probably pick him. The kilt did not hurt with that either. Very cute man, very attractive. But the man wasn't more than like 5'6", maybe 5'7". So I've seen tall, I've seen short. Lots of meat in Scottish cuisine. I ate pigeon yesterday on purpose. I ate pigeon on purpose yesterday because I went to a restaurant that my concierge recommended for me, and they had pigeon on the menu, and I was like, mm, "Tell me for real, like, is this really something that like Scottish people eat?" He's like, "Yeah, it's their his accent and basic physical appearance didn't scream I've been in Scotland my whole life." So I was like, if I ask a Scottish person, if I tell a Scottish person, like a Scottish born and bred, that I ate pigeon, just popped off a nail trying to open champagne. How rude. How I have been attacked by the champagne bottle. I was like, if I ask a Scottish person, if I tell them I ate pigeon, would they be like, that's wild. Why would you do that? He was like, nah, like they eat it for real. So I had pigeon last night. It does not taste like chicken, anything at all like chicken. It's very gamey. I would say even more like deer than chicken. Deer isn't like a perfect match, but it's good. It's good. Yeah, I still haven't had haggis. It was on the menu. The Scottish breakfast. Maybe I'll have it tomorrow morning. The Scottish breakfast on the menu at my hotel includes haggis, and I was like, I don't really feel like I need to eat haggis. No, I ate pigeon yesterday. But about the haggis, I was like, okay, so for Scottish breakfast, this is a whole meal. You get like 2 eggs, but then it's like blood pudding and haggis. 2 things I don't really want nothing. I was like, I don't want either one of those. So maybe I don't get the Scottish breakfast. Pay extra for the Scottish breakfast. That was louder than I expected. Oh, y'all, funny story happened. I think this is just going to be a funny story moment. Day live. So hang with me. I came into the hotel yesterday. I was talking to a woman who checked me in because she was there at the desk by herself. And I was like, hey, how's the day going? It's easier than whenever I saw her before. Hold on a second. And she was like, no, it's been pretty hard today because the air conditioner wasn't working. And I was like, oh, that's why I went to sleep warm and woke up hot. Even though I turned down the air conditioning, it didn't work. She's like, yes. I didn't really think about it. I thought maybe I should know how to use this particular thing because it wasn't really responsive. But apparently all the air conditioning in the hotel is down. I am on the top floor. Cheers to me. I'm on the top floor. And she was like, oh, so do you have a door? Do you have a door? And I was like, yes. So in the back of my hotel room, behind the bed, there's I'm in like a 4-foot wooden area space behind the bed and behind on this side. Here's the bed on this side. On this side, the back of the bed. This side is a whole glass wall with a door. She's like, you have a door. I have a door to the garden. There's a 3rd floor garden. Yesterday, we got a note that there was going to be a wedding. And when I got here, they were having a bridal shower. The theme, loved it because it was like they were all wearing saris, right? And they were all pink. So if it was a pink bridal shower sari theme, very cute. Yesterday was a wedding. Less cute because they were like, this is scheduled to go and you'll hear the noise until midnight. Okay. And I get up here and I don't hear any noise from the wedding. What I hear is noise from the kids who are mean children, but like too close to my door. Like, I don't mind you being children, but if you're not staying in this hotel, why are you like, and the wedding, the garden is, there's a wall of shrubs that's probably 12 feet high that blocks out the event space. So I'm on the other side of a wall. So it's connected to the event space, but it's for privacy, right? Why y'all over on this side of the wall running and screaming? It's 9:00 at night. Okay, I'm not going, fine. But here's why it got interesting. So I get inside and let me try this real quick. This is the most bouncy bounce story. I'm talking to the lady at the front desk and she talked about the air conditioning. And she said, oh, but don't worry. Since you have a door to the garden, where we just talked about the wedding going on till midnight and noise from the wedding going on till midnight, you can just leave it open. And I was like, I'm sorry, what do you mean? She was like, if it's hot in your room, you could just leave the back door to your room open. And of course, I look at her like she's insane because, girl, what? She said, we've been open for 21 years and we've never ever had a problem with someone trying to get into a room. I was like, and you could tell it like she genuinely believes it's safe, and that is safe messaging. And I was like, there are at least 30 rooms that have doors onto the garden. Anyone in a hotel can come up to the garden because it's not like it's blocked off for people. There's just a door for people who don't have rooms that back onto it. And you have a wedding going on. You've never had this group of humans, the same group of humans in a hotel before in its 20 years. And you're really telling female guests who you know are staying alone that if they're hot, they should just leave the door to the garden, but anyone can get into. Open? I was like, huh. You really believe it. She's like she said at least twice to me, we've never ever had a problem with someone trying to get into a room. And I was like you genuinely, like you're not even being shady. You're not trying to, because I wasn't complaining about the heat. I was like, oh yeah, it makes sense why my mind didn't work. It wasn't like she had to like say something to like get me to go away. She literally was like, oh yeah, if you're hot, just open the door. It's not a problem. What? I was like, that's that's a thing someone might do that someone is not mean. It just reminded me that like where we come from and how we experience the world really differs from person to person, and what we would consider a good idea when traveling, when living life, at work are all going to be different. Because she was like younger, but like so innocently, like, yes, we have never had a problem. And I'm like, yeah, you won't have a problem till you have the first problem. Like that's just how that works. You have all kinds of strangers in here for this wedding. What are we doing? I was like, you're adorable. I'm gonna close that door. And so I came in. I had to leave it open for a while to cool out while I was up and around. Had to leave it open for a while to get cool air in here because it was hot when I came inside. And that's when I heard the kids were like running and like screaming and playing games, but not in the wedding space. I don't know if they were sent away from the wedding space by their family members who did not want to hear them making all that ruckus, but they came over to my side of the wall to make ruckus. And I was like, I never put my hands on a kid, but can I bribe y'all to go somewhere? Like, what? Where's your adult? You're running around over here by a bunch of hotel rooms in a space where you don't know anybody. Where are your humans? Why aren't your humans with you? Girl. Okay, y'all talking about haggis in a can. What y'all talking about? A canned version for tourists to take home. Ugh. Like I said, I might try it tomorrow. I just looked it up. It sounds like they use artificial casing now to replace the animal stomach, but I'd still pass. Onion, cayenne pepper, and other spices. The mixture is packed in a sheep's stomach and boiled. It just, like I said, I ate pigeon. So, but even that, I was like, that sounds better to me than haggis. So Edinburgh, I like Glasgow better. I don't know how to explain it. I think Glasgow was what I needed in the moment. The weather was also better there than it is here. But like Glasgow is pretty flat compared to here. It's built on a grid. So you turn left, you know you're now perpendicular to the street you were on, as opposed to Edinburgh, which is old, built on a hill, and then like They built layers on top of layers on top of layers. Yesterday, I was on the coolest thing happened yesterday. I love it when you talk to taxi drivers and they're like helpful. Yesterday's taxi driver was like, "You're on a bridge right now." We were driving. I was like, "What do you mean?" Because like I'm looking at buildings on either side of me, and he was like, "You're on the North Bridge, or the South Bridge. One of them bridges. I don't know." And it goes. It's a there's a so I'm on the street that goes this way, right? Underneath the street is another street down here, which my bridge is crossing over a number of streets. But the buildings that are on the side of me start on the lower level and they're built all the way up. So those buildings are on a street that goes this way and a street that goes like it's weird. How cool is that? So yeah, as we passed the buildings I was on, I was kind of like on the second, not floor, not the way we think of floors, but like the second level. There was a ground level below and then the bridge level. And those floors are built up from like the ground level all the way up to the bridge level, which was kind of cool. Y'all really still going about haggis in the comments? Yes, there's FGM 215 says there's a random stairway to the lower level too. Yes, there are like literal, and when we say stairways, I mean like 40 stairs, 50 stairs, enough that you're like, yet I'm still hiking, right? Or like, and if there's no stair, like my hotel was 8 minutes away from the exit I use at the train station. My bag is heavy, weighs over 70 pounds easily. I don't know how much, enough. I looked at the hill that Google Maps was sending me up, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm gonna have to go find a taxi because I'm not doing that. There's absolutely no way I'm going to attempt to take an 8-minute walk, which does not sound, it's not that long, but up that hill, won't be doing it. No. It's that hilly here. Like I went walking I did a walking tour. I got here on Friday, Thursday, a day. I got here on a day. And the day after, I woke up and did a walking tour the day I got here. The afternoon I got here, before my room was even ready, I went out to the walking tour, which is the only thing I've done in the city, that and dinner. Anywho, I did the walking tour, 2.5 hours, another half an hour to get home. That's about right. The next morning I woke up and my calves were sore. I'm walking 2, 3, 4 hours every day, but the hills. I've been doing this every day on my walks. You're in Europe, you tend to walk a lot. I'm walking. But walking on these hills had my calves aching the next day. It was crazy. I was like, oh, I'm just literally just walking down the hallway in my hotel and I can feel the burn in my calves from the tour I did. Every part of a city. There's a lot of the tour. If you're eating right now, plug your ears for like 15 seconds. There was a lot of a tour about how when they just, in the olden days that weren't that old, they would just throw the slop down their trash bucket, which is also their poo bucket, out the window, which we've heard of before, but I think they said 143 passageways. So every piece of slop was in one of 143 passageways. And they said it would get to be like 4 inches of like trash and poo walking home, where of course they didn't bathe properly. What is this? What is this? What are you doing? Hey, Steph, thank you for joining. Okay, so Chanel Chanel, what channel? It's Chanel. I think we've talked about this before. What is natural sausage? Do I have to Google that? You had haggis once and it was great. You know you're getting a little bit of side eye from all of us. What is natural sausage? Oh, if you mean natural sausage casings, let's see what those are. Oh, intestines of grass-fed lambs. Okay, if that's what you mean, that makes sense. How do the hills compare to those in San Francisco? You know those real aggressive hills in San Francisco? How they give you stairs on the side? I was looking for my stairs on the side and there weren't like sometimes there would be stairs, but in some inclines it was like, no, this is the kind of hill you put a stair on. And they were like, maybe we old, we don't do that. Like the city's been around for, you know, whatever years, much longer than San Francisco. We're not we're not doing something like that. So you just hike up the hill. So I imagine that a lot of the city is not wheelchair accessible for that reason. Like the hills are no joke, and often the way to get up is not a hill, it's stairs. So yeah. No. But the Angela, the thing I mentioned was like hundreds of years ago, right? Like it's not it's it's not now. The way you don't have to see it now. But we did go down some of those passageways. So on the tour, that was cool, and to see some of the history. But when you see like what do they call them? They call them closes. It's a close. And the close, the only rule for the close was it had to be wide enough for a coffin to fit through. So when I tell you, it's like if you couldn't walk like this down there without your elbow, maybe I could. Maybe a taller person couldn't walk. I think the average NFL player would scrape their shoulders going down the hallway. They'd have to walk. Well, they'd be bending over. It's a little short too, but it's not. It's no wider than this. Yeah, no wider than that. Oh, but yeah, I think like Dublin, Belfast, Glasgow might be like my, you know, my cool little hangout spots in the future. I think I told you guys that my friend in Dublin was like, "Why don't we switch apartments?" I was like, "Yes, why don't we do that?" Hi, landlord, if you're watching this, I'm not subleasing. Um, I did not go to Balmoral because I have not been, and I doubt I would ever go. I don't know. Yes. So, oh my goodness. So Reborn Room says all of these places we visit have histories that would have us shuddering if we transpose these images onto today. Yes, but here's what I didn't know. I'm in Glasgow, and I don't think I talked about this last week. I'm in Glasgow. I'm walking around. I'm doing the walking tour. It's like the first thing I want to do when I get to a city, so I can orient myself, see what's around, ask some questions to someone, that knows. Uh, and the man is talking, and the tour is like he's gonna show you Glasgow's like dark history. Glasgow's dark history, dark history. Girl, guess what the dark history was? When y'all gonna get it? Guess what the dark history was? I'm waiting. I know one of y'all knows. And I'm gonna eat my first piece of cake while we're at it. The dark history of Glasgow. Slavery. Y'all got it. The dark history was slavery. And I was like, he hadn't told us what the dark history was, but he had told us enough things for me to realize, like, oh, slavery's at play. Wait a minute. Like, he, I was like, wait a minute. Like, you said a few key words that indicate, at best, complicity with slavery. Tell me more. So, what he was telling me was that, well, us as a group, was that the way they built a lot of slave ships. That actually makes a lot of sense because they were a shipbuilding place for a very long time. But they where it started was because of the something wind and something water, jet stream and trade winds, maybe. Adelia will correct me if I'm wrong about that if she's still here. Because of the trade winds and the jet stream, the boats from the US, the first place in the United Kingdom they could make it to was Glasgow. It was like 10 days faster to get there to like other places they wanted to go. So Glasgow became the capital of the tobacco trade with Virginia in those days. And that's what I was like, wait. Wait. That's what I was like, oh, tell me more. And then they started talking about like a slave that was sold, like a boy that was sold right here. And I was like, I'm not going to look up. You're talking about one slave. You haven't talked about you talked about how these people owned 400 slaves in Virginia, but you haven't talked about slaves in Glasgow, except for like one particular boy who blah, 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 then he ran away and blah, blah. And I feel like there's probably more. If there was one here, there was probably more here, but you're not like you have the history. You're kind of making it a little light grayish. It's a cream happening right now. You're not really giving me the dark history. It feels like it's a little whitewashed. So that was interesting. That like he talked on end about like slavery being the dark history of Glasgow, and few people recognize it and like acknowledge it. But with Black Lives Matter campaigns in the last few years, blah, 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 blah. But I'm like, but you've talked about one slave on Glasgow soil. And I just know in my spirit where there was one, there was more. And so maybe come back with some more history or don't, or, whatever. It was a good tour. It was disappointing to hear that because, like, could we get one country? Could we get one country? Like, he said, if you had a port back in those days, you had slaves, which is also really interesting because he didn't talk about slaves in Glasgow except for one specific one, right? So, and you had a port, you had a big port, and that's why. Anyway, so if you had a port, you had slaves, and the only port in the region that was big, I guess, big enough to be asked to participate in slavery directly or indirectly in some sort, that said no was Belfast because, apparently the Irish were real religious. And back in the day, when they were about to sign this document with King whoever in England to go ahead and put that rubber stamp on slavery, this is my history from the man who was giving the tour. If this is wrong, you can write your memo in the comments. Okay. Anyway, the man who said, when it was time to sign the paper, a bunch of them were going to sign, and this man rolled up and was like, anyone who puts their name on that is going to hell. And apparently hell was too hot for them Irish people because they were like, maybe we don't say yes to like slavery type things in Belfast. And so Belfast was the only one in the region that didn't have it. And I was like, see, I knew I liked them people. They about something. But yeah, it was disappointing because I really liked Glasgow. So to be there and to hear like, well, yeah, but also slavery was kind of interesting. Pretty in Black says, how big is the Black population there now? Um, I don't want to say almost non-existent because, you know, I would not be surprised if this is an area where we also self-segregate. And I did not go through all the areas of town, but I did not see a lot of Black people. Maybe like I was mostly in tourist areas. Maybe out of like one every 100 people I saw was Black. But like I said, tourist areas. So that doesn't really tell you if they're from Glasgow or if they were, a tourist. Edinburgh, I would say the numbers are about the same. So, oh, and then here in Edinburgh, did we talk about slavery? I feel like the tour mentioned slavery in a way that was like kind of indicated that these were not African slaves, enslaved Africans that were doing the work. But we didn't really get into this too much. But then she was talking about how Scotland spent a long time trying to colonize Panama. And I was like, we're not safe from nobody. They got like 3 people in this country. And back in the day, they might have had 2.5. And you went all the way, you went all the way to Panama to try to colonize people, only to get there and realize the people they thought they were colonizing indigenous people, and then found out that it was the Spanish had beat them there, and they were trying to colonize the Spanish. And the Spanish were like, "You can try it if you want to," right? Because like we just want to kill everybody. So any hoodle, there's no safe place. There's no safe place. Yeah. Yeah, so I feel like the majority of the Black people I'm encountering in Scotland are from somewhere else, like the front desk guys from Kenya. You know, so lots of immigration. Hopefully there are some. I don't know. I don't know. I saw an African restaurant in Glasgow. You know what it is? Edinburgh is one of those cities where like you go to parts of the city and it's like you made this up for tourists. Almost every place I saw in the city, and like I said, I did the tour, but it's done for tourists, right? But like even walking from place to place, if you're not like it's got a big Times Square in New York City kind of vibe. Times Square and like the adjacent streets kind of vibe. Not like that big and audacious, but very much like I asked my tour guide on the tour. She took us to Victoria Street. I was like, locals don't come out here, do they? And she was like, no. She's like, it's close by like our where we go out at night, and maybe we'd come down here for a meal some every once in a while, but no, we don't come down here. And I'm like, it's like a big, like it's what there is to see here. So Yeah, so Michelle brought something up. Glasgow was the richest city of the British Empire after London because of tobacco. And why did tobacco work? Ow, 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 ow. You already know the answer. So yeah. Black people make the world turn, whether we want to or not. It linked to Scotland, some of the possibilities because I felt comfortable walking around solo and the friendliness of some people I met. The weather, though, puts it lower on my list. Yes. Ooh, it looks like the sun is out for the first time today. I had a weird taxi driver when I got here. Everyone's been really lovely, right? So I get in my taxi. Everyone was lovely since I hit Dublin, left Istanbul and hit Dublin. There's been one person who wasn't a winner at my hotel in Dublin, and my friend said, was telling my friend about it. I was with two friends. One old friend who's Black Irish mother, grown up in Ireland her whole life, accent and everything, whatever. She's got it. And then another friend who I believe is born in Ireland, but to immigrant parents, I think Nigerian. And the Scottish Nigerian woman says, and I was like, this guy, something happened and the guy wasn't like kind. And she said, was he an immigrant? And I was like, yeah, how'd you know? She was like, they very much think that like they're working hard to put themselves above Black people. So they'll talk to Black people crazy. And I was like, oh, okay. Interesting, because the one time I told you someone talked to me a little crazy, you knew they weren't Irish. We're not from, you know what I mean? And she was like, yeah, they weren't. Okay. She was like, yeah, the immigrants who come to Ireland are like trying to like, either they come with the idea that they are superior and they try to position themselves as superiors. They'll talk crazy to you. It's like, oh, okay. So everyone who looks like who sounds, I'm gonna say sounds, because listen, there's a sound. Everyone who sounds like they are from this area, Ireland, Scotland, whatever, has been absolutely amazing to me. Until take the taxi driver yesterday. No, day I got here, Thursday, Friday, whatever. He takes me to. I told you, I tried to go. I need to set the scene for you. My suitcase is so big and there's nowhere on the train to put it, so I have to leave it by the door. It's on its side. And I got to watch the whole ride to make sure when we stop, no one walks off with my suitcase because it's right by the door. Okay, cool. All right, so big suitcase. To get from my platform to the exit that Google's telling me to take, I got to go down on an elevator, over, up on an elevator, down on an elevator. And when I say over, I mean I'm crossing this. It's a big station. Not the biggest station in the UK, but it's a big station. I'm crossing, whatever. Doing all the stuff, getting around, elevators, go outside. I'm not going up that hill. So to get to where the taxis are, it's on the other side of the station. So I got to go back up and around and around and around and around. And then through, I'm doing, at this point, probably 25 minutes or more of pushing this suitcase just to get to a taxi. All right. So I am outside and I see the taxi rank where it's lined up, grab my suitcase, walk over to him. He's kind of like, whatever. And he's like, you want to go somewhere, basically? And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. Nice. He comes, he got my suitcase, puts it in the car or whatever. He says, let me guess, you're going somewhere close. And I was like, yeah, Glass House. Because I told you it's 8 minutes away. I could walk. I'm on the other side of a train station now, so it's like a 12-minute drive. And he, and rolls his eyes. And I was like, okay. Like, I get it. You have to line up to get a ride, and you would love to have a 2-hour ride, and you don't, right? You've got a 12-minute ride if you stretch it out. I think the other option is for you to ask me to leave your cab, but I don't think you can do that. So what do we do? Like, what do we do? I don't want to go anywhere further than my hotel. So like if I'm in a situation, the thing to know about me, if I'm in a situation where it feels like someone is being attitudey, I'm gonna try to stop it in its tracks. I'm gonna throw some honey on top of it. I'm gonna rub it down. You know, listen, if you let me go far enough, we get all the way to the happy ending. Like, let's do this. We are not going to let this bad mood ruin this moment, right? Like, you didn't want to take me where I'm gonna go, but we're together. So less attitude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm working to get less attitude in the car. Works. He's chatty now. That's why I don't talk to strangers, y'all. He asks me after a while, he asks me, we're talking back and forth. He's like, "Oh, did you pick the hotel you're staying in?" Oh, did I just say that? I did. Ignore that part. I'm leaving tomorrow. Y'all can't find me. It's fine. Anyway, he asked me, "Did you pick the hotel you're staying in?" And I was like, "Yep." And he says, "Ugh." And I was like, "I'm so sorry. What was that?" Like, you had a thought. Why don't you share it with the class? So he says, uh, "I don't like the neighborhood it's in." And I was like, "You know me. You can't give me like you should be concerned or like there's something wrong and not give me the background because I need to be able to judge for myself. I would like to judge for myself what's going on." So, can you hear them walking by, being loud? So he's like, "Oh, they call it, I think he said the pink district. It might have been the pink zone or pink, whatever. But like, deep sigh, because where are we going?" So I was like, I'm gonna play dumb. We not making jokes unless you tell me the joke. What is it? You want to be sexist, racist, homophobic? What is it? Say it with your words. So I was like, what, the pink district? What does that mean? And he was like, "Oh, there are a lot of lesbian bars." Okay, you just told me to be safe. Because he said earlier before, he said it's the pink district. You have to be careful. And I was like, what does that mean? I was like, what do you mean I have to, what do I need to be concerned about? And he's like, there's a lot of lesbian bars. He's like, unless that's like what you're looking for. And I was like, I don't know anything about this area. What are the lesbians doing? What are what are the lesbians doing that you felt like you needed to warn me about the lesbian bars? Are they like marauding in the streets? Are they robbing people by like by their favorite bars? What's happening? What are the lesbians doing that you need to warn me about the lesbians? You just need to be careful. Of what? Like, I'm trying to understand. Like, I want you to tell me what I have. And he said something like they call it the gay something, and I was like, but what's the safety concern? Like, what? What are like? Use your words, big boy. Oh, you just thought I was gonna get in the car, and you went from like me being the bad guy because I have a bag, or like I'm going close, to now you thought I was just gonna sit up here and be homophobic with you because we're homies like that. Because when you're talking to someone and they're like they're not your people, and they don't care letting you know that they're not your people, but they're just gonna keep at it. This man said, I'm trying to keep it going because my life is in his hands. Where are we going? And where are you taking me? I'm looking at my map on the phone. So he was like, "Oh, he asked me about Mexico." Because everyone asked, "Where are you from? Where do you live?" Whatever. Told him I live in Mexico. He was like, "Oh, do you have a Mexican husband?" And I was like, "No." He said, "You don't have a Mexican husband?" And I was like, "No." "So you don't have kids?" either. And I was like, no, because he knew I was traveling for like 2 months. I was like, no, I laughed. He's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, I just told, like, kids don't like to be left for 2 months. Um, and so he was asking me, do you ever want a kid? Asking me questions about kids. So finally I was like, do you have kids? Yeah, I have a kid with my ex-wife. Don't need the details. Don't care about details. But let me ask you one question. Just one question. I have a daughter. How old is she? Mm, stuttering and stammering, and then said 25 and did not sound like he was sure about 25. You in my business. Try to stick your head all the way up into my birth canal and ask me questions. But you don't know the age of your child to solidly say it? You see how we could just mind our own business, right? Because like asking me, like he had passed the level of like, I'm just asking questions to make this car ride go along. It's reached for like slightly judgmental questions. You never wanted kids? Baby, I don't know you. I was like, we gonna have to flip. We gonna have to make him want to stop having this conversation. And I know exactly how. You know how old your kids are. Your child. You know how old your daughter is, for sure. And guess what? He changed the topic immediately when I put it on him. Oh, you don't want to talk about your child? You want to talk about my imaginary kids? Cool. So yeah, other than him warning me about the lesbians. All right. So Patty says this is why we choose the bears. And I'm like, if I'm out in the woods, it's lesbians and then bears and then men. Like I'm sure there's a couple more predators between bears and men. But like what is the danger of like you wouldn't have told me to be careful because there are a lot of college bars, right? You wouldn't have told me to be careful because there are a lot of regular bars, right? Where I have more of uh like a concern, like more where I'm at more risk. You just want me to be homophobic. Bears. Let's talk about you. Anyway, Stephanie trying to get me to change the subject because she's probably wants something positive. Oh, wait, before I change subject, the cute short Scottish man from the front, from the doorman or concierge. I don't know which one he is. I think he's both. I saw my waitress from the restaurant yesterday in a cleaning uniform today, vacuuming. And I was like, oh, it's one of those. I've never worked in a hotel before. I didn't think people did multiple jobs in hotels, but she was like, hi. And I was like, that short dress you're vacuuming in is not what you were wearing yesterday. That was not your uniform in the restaurant. All right. Okay, cool. Anyhow, concierge or doorman, not sure what he is. I mentioned that conversation to him and he's like, I can't think of a single lesbian bar around here. He's like, there may be one. I hope you find one. It sounds like it might be fun. He's like, but I can't think of a single one in this neighborhood. The concierge don't know any lesbian bars, but the taxi driver says it's overrun. I'll do a lot for no reason. Other than that, everyone's been awesome. Definitely recommend the people on this side of the world. It also helps that we've had good weather. You know, people are in better moods when we have good weather. So, yes. Listen, um, we. It looks really nice outside right now. I was gonna sit in the sun. Okay, so Stephanie asked a question, and I'm only my first glass of champagne of prosecco. So let me get some more in. Oh, and yes, ask some more birthday questions while I eat a chocolate covered strawberry. Mm. Well, I drop a chocolate covered strawberry on my shirt. You asking birthday questions? Mm. If you're wondering, I mentioned the hotel name earlier. You don't have to think about it. I'll tell you again in the future. I wouldn't stay here again. Everyone's really nice. I didn't say good at their jobs. Really nice. So there's that. Okay, Stephanie's question, birthday party question. What are you looking forward to about being 45? Who said I was 45? Did I say that? I am 45. I'm looking forward to more ease in my life. I'm looking forward to Exodus Summit. Exodus Summit has changed my life in ways that I just can't. I can't put on paper. And it just, I don't know. So, funny story. Funny story. I got an email yesterday from a man. Like, sometimes you can't tell by names, but the name was like Anthony. So, probably a man, right? And the question was, can you make Exodus Summit VIP passes less than $50 this year? And I looked at it and I immediately laughed. It didn't come to the Exodus Summit inbox. It came directly to me. I looked at it and I immediately laughed because I was like, oh, you're not my people. And it, like, that's not to complain about getting the email. It's just to say, like, I've never been more clear about who my people are. I can get a simple email like that and be like, oh yeah, I don't have to pay any attention to this. You're not my people. Because if you were my people, you wouldn't write me asking me that question. Because you know the value in what that is, and you can't get it. I laughed because he didn't ask for like can you make a tier of the tickets under $50? No. The Exodus Summit VIP pass, he wants to be under $50. I mean, yeah, if we didn't have any speakers, good. If the summit was like 2 hours long and it was just me and Stephanie, like if I brought Stephanie up right now and we talked for 2 hours, that's what you can get for less than $50. But the point is, I'm much better at discerning who's not my people, who is my people, and like knowing that line means something, right? It's not before. I might have thought it meant something about me, right? Like maybe your ticket isn't worth more than that, or maybe like they don't like my work isn't valuable, or now I'm just like, oh no, because there's 100 other things you could ask for. Like, can we get a 1-day replay for that? No, but you can't. But you really wrote me on my birthday because you responded to an email about the fact that my birthday was the next day. You wrote me on my birthday to ask me if you could get a ticket, the VIP pass for next year, be under $50. And that's just like, you guys here are my people. And it's beautiful to me to really be able to see that clearly. Who are the people I want in my life? And who are the people that I'm like, not even gonna respond to that. Cause like, you're not like us, right? Like, you're not a colleague. You're a colonizer. A man wrote me that? So having that discernment, looking forward to the event, looking forward to being in a place in my life where like, my joints still mostly work. I feel good most mornings when I get up. I at least 3 different days in the past 2, I would say week and a half, I've been outside walking around and thought to myself, "I love my life." And I've said it before, but like acknowledging it and like knowing that like I've built a life that I love and I get to continue doing that because I get to continue working with women that I really enjoy being with is just something that I'm looking forward to more of this year. I'm looking forward to all of this. All of this. So, yeah. Uh, let's see. Oh yeah, there's also this, Michelle wrote it. That's not really the point of the story. But don't trust people. You don't get Tabitha Brown, Octavia Rahim. Where for under $50? What, Dr. Joy? Where, Rachel? All together? So yeah, so being in a place in my life where like my phone rings and it's people I love, right? I am here talking to people who like know me and get me. And the Exodus community is 16,000 strong. And we like, every time I'm in a different Facebook group, I'm like, y'all don't know community. Y'all don't know community. Mm, mm-mm. And it's just like Kat says, clarity is a beautiful thing. It is. It's really great to just be like, I know what I want. I know how to get what I want. I know how to live a life that is in alignment with who I am and who I want to be, right? It's really nice. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Global Anita wants to know why she wasn't invited to celebrate with me. Because you trouble. Because you trouble, Anita. I don't even know where in the world you are. Um, hey, Tanisha. All right, let me go back to more questions. Oh, Free Holding says, what are you going to buy yourself? You know I bought myself something. All right, let me show you. I thought I had it, but I don't have it. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. Hold on. Hold on. All right. I'll bring you what I can immediately find. I bought myself jewelry. So this is actually, I think, maybe related to another question here, but I'll answer. Bought myself this ring. I got myself this ring with my birthstone, a bracelet, and another ring, which is a lot older. Okay, so they're vintage rings. This one is from like 1905. This one is from about 1880. And I have one that I think is from I have the paperwork on it. I think it's late 1700s, which have ruby and emeralds together. But it's a pinky ring, so I don't wear them together. But I was in Dublin walking past the shop that had all this vintage jewelry, and I was like, what if I just asked a couple questions? And then like an hour and a half later, I put my credit card out, and I was I called Stephanie every day, and I was like, "I need some money," not to get money from her, whatever. I was not asking her for a loan. I did almost send her that GIF of from Best Man, one of the Best Men movie where what's his name says, "Do you need some money?" Why can't I can't find his name because of Prosecco, but you know who I'm talking about from Empire. That's the one. Yes. So this is what I bought myself. So about 2 weeks before I walked into the store, I thought about the fact that like I don't own any like I own a diamond ring that I got from my mom on my 16th birthday that my dad had bought her when they were married. But I've never bought myself like a really nice ring. And I like rings. I buy myself like rings under $100. You know, like maybe there's a stone, like a, something that's not pretty, but not super, um, gold plated, whatever. Uh, I've never bought myself a ring with diamonds in it because it always felt like the kind of thing that like someone else buys you. Someone else buys you. Um, but I about 2 weeks ago was like, or I could just do it myself. Like I could release that idea that like my really nice jewelry will be a gift from like my future lover, right? I can let that go and get myself really nice stuff now instead of just waiting, right? Because there are a lot of things that like along the way, as women, we're told to wait for. Um, you know, waiting until you're married to have a house. Now, there's some reasons to split the labor on that, I'm not gonna lie. But usually it's not that reason. Usually the reasoning behind people saying you should wait, it's like you should wanna do that with a partner. You should wanna do that with someone you can split the work with, but that's usually not what's discussed, right? Um, so in a lot of our lives, in different ways, we're waiting until the right person enters our life, whether that's a child, a partner, something else. Um, but usually a man. We're usually told to wait for a man to do certain things. And I was like, I don't actually like it's not a failure if I buy myself the things I want instead of waiting for someone else to do it for me. It's not me like giving up. It's not me saying it's not going to happen. It's just me saying like I want it now and I can get it for myself now. So why don't we do that? Um and so yeah. And so like 2 weeks later I walked past that store. Vintage okay, first of all, vintage jewelry, sign me up. I said, okay, all right, great. This is it for me. And I was in there a long time and I looked at a lot of jewelry. Um, and I was very happy with this. I was happy knowing that like I bought things that my ancestors would have never been allowed to wear, to own, right? In like the early 1800s or late 1800s or early 1900s. You know, if my great 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 grandma had this ring, someone would have chopped her hand off and stole it. Like burned their farm down, right? And claimed the land as theirs. So yeah, it was like really empowering for me to get there and kind of say like, yeah, I I deserve nice things. I get to have nice things. Yes, Terrence Howard, thank you. I love vintage things, so it was really great to like get the story behind things. Um, the the store was called Alf Alf. I listen, I would recommend if you're going to Dublin, I'd recommend checking out this guy's store. I wouldn't just tell you this and not mean it. Um, mm, no, let me do this on Instagram. I'm gonna tell y'all because what was that man's? Uh, maybe Adelphi. The same guy has owned the same shop in the same place for over 35 years. Yeah, I don't have it. Boo hiss. I hate it when I can't find something that I want to find in on this thing. But there was another question I wanted to ask. I'm really just looking forward to having like an easy year. Okay, so I want to sort by followed latest. Antiques Delphi, Delphi Antiques. So on Instagram, they're Antiques Delphi. Delphi Antiques is the actual name of the place. Wait. They don't share pricing online, like on their posts. But like, come on, Emerald lovers. Anyhoodle, the guy was really nice and helped me pick out things that like looked good on me as opposed to like looked good on paper. So I'd recommend him. Let's see. So yeah, so that's what I bought myself and this trip. Fun fact, I have no idea how much this trip is costing me. Why do I have no idea? Because I refuse to have any idea what this trip is costing me. 2.5 months, mostly in hotels. They tried to charge me 450 pounds, which is $500, maybe more than 500. Let me tell y'all. But this is a birthday present. It's a 45th birthday present. What it actually costs, like I said, I don't know. Yeah, $489 for a train ride. Not even a direct train ride, a train ride from Edinburgh to Cardiff. Same country. Oh, it's all the UK. Y'all want to be one United Kingdom. Why y'all charging me Amtrak prices when y'all have this good old train system? Why are you playing me like you're an American train system? 6-hour ride, $500. The disrespect. Now that was the first class ticket, so I definitely took my behind to whatever's not first class, which was still over $200. And I got a transfer? Ew. 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 So I think after that, and my twins, my first nieces, the first diapers I ever changed, they're not related to me, but they've been in my life since before they were one, or right after they turned one of those. They both graduated from college in the last 3 days. So apparently, I mean, my answer for everything is money. So like, also when I was graduating from college, what would I have wanted? Money. So I gotta give them some money. So I'm gonna call that a present to myself. I get to give them money. That's how I will explain it. Because like I said, I pay the credit card. I pay the hotel credit card bill. Because like I said, I'm the hotel section of my life right now. So my credit card that has, I tell y'all everything. My credit card that I use to book my hotels. I stay mostly in Marriott's. And I have a Marriott credit card. So I charge all the hotels to that credit card because I get double points, whatever. Or whatever points, I don't know. But it's also the only card I generally carry that's not an American Express. And Turkey was the only place where, like, nowhere I went except at American Express. But in a lot of places here, they don't wanna deal with it, so we're like, "Nah." Like, some places will accept it. Like, the guy I bought the rings from was like, "We'll do a bank transfer," and I was like, "We gonna put this on a card. Big baby, we gonna put this on a card. Imma get some points for this." Um, and so I've been using my Visa card heavily for most of my traveling things, and I've been using it for all the hotel stuff. I log into that app, like, every 3 or 4 days. Like, I got to pay y'all again, don't I? Because this number's good. I went to dinner yesterday, and my bill was $115. I haven't checked my credit card lately. And, like, it didn't go at first because they needed me to stick it in instead of tapping, because I think the limit on tap whatever. And I was like, "Oh, no, I hope this isn't them telling me that I've hit my limit." Because I also have to get home and pay this taxi. This is awkward. Yes, so I'm regularly like, "I got to pay them." So, yeah, I have no idea how much this trip's costing. So, trip, jewelry, graduation gifts to my girls, since one of them actually graduated on my birthday. I'm gonna call it a birthday present to myself. Give them some cash. Y'all had to graduate this year, huh? Both of you together? They didn't go to the same college, but they graduated, like, 2 days apart. Y'all couldn't just one of y'all couldn't take an extra year? Okay. Okay, friends. They're so cute. One, like, on her graduation day, sent me a text and was like, "Happy birthday," all the good stuff. And I was like, "Oh, oh, how sweet is that? Like, it's your day, and you thought of me." My babies. But, like I mean, when I was graduating, money me, please, is what I need. So I guess I'll money them. Oh, it's your birthday? Have some cash. Oh, it's your graduation? Have some cash. Because isn't that what y'all wanted? It's what I needed. But, whatever. Um, Let me see. Hi, Marilyn. Marilyn, when I was graduating from high school, Marilyn gave me sheets, comforter, towels, and something else that lasted me from like my dorm in college and for like the next, I wanted like through college and maybe like 2 or 3, like 7 years, them sheets and towels and blankets. Thank you, Auntie Marilyn. She knew what I needed. I don't know what these girls need. Got no cash. I needed them sheets and towels because I didn't have any of my own, like that were like mine. They were like family stuff. All right. Okay, so Teresa, you said my experience that shop makes you want to go looking for vintage jewelry. He was really helpful in explaining things to me and being able to tell me the story and like this is how you know a diamond was cut in this era because it looks like this and this is blah 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 blah. And baby, he might have just been telling me lies. I don't think so. But he might have been, and I wouldn't have known. I told him, like, "I just don't know." And he was like, "Oh," like patient and, like, breaking things down. And I was like, "Well, how do I know?" He was like, you learn, like, you do the like, if you want to keep doing this, you have to do the research to, like, know the things you need to know." And I appreciated, but he wasn't just like, "Excellent cut, great quality, perfect color," right? Because he could have said, like, "You graded emerald on 3 things, and this is the best in all these 3." No, he was like, "Okay, so if you look at the stone, blah, 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 it's Colombian, and you can tell by the color." And I was like and, like so, like, giving me history and things, which was really nice. I would definitely, go back to that store. Yeah. Eleanor says she's 75, buy the jewelry now. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, okay. So here's the thing about Marilyn and my mom are both were nurses, given all her business, but she kind of gave it here too. um, from Jamaica. And my mom will I'll say something to my mom, and she'll be like, "Oh, yeah, I used to live there for, like, 4 months back in, like, '72." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So, yes, Marilyn used to live in Edinburgh, and I had no idea. And I've known her since I was, like, 8, maybe younger. Probably no, definitely younger. 4, 6, something like that. Lived there for 4 months before I moved there for the Glasgow area to do midwifery. No idea. She lived there. I'll just be, like, living these lives. We can talk about immigration and people coming from UK colonies coming to the UK to work, and from other places where they have done damage around the world, and now they're limiting who can come in and cutting the numbers and slashing the numbers and being so proud of it. Pero, like, what do you owe to the people whose countries you destroyed? Any hoodle, a topic for another day. I don't think either one of these are made of Irish gold because I think they're both from England. Oh, giving Bridgerton? Ew. All right. Oh, Jazzy said, "Do you ever buy jewelry at auctions? I bought a watch for $80. According to Google, it's worth 2,500. Highly recommend." I've never participated in an auction, like a. I don't know how to explain this. Yeah, I never thought about going to an auction. I think because I would feel like I have no idea whether what I'm buying is worth it. But that's a good idea. I am not a Gemini, Teddy, and I am ashamed that I have not given you guys enough information to see the Taurus shining through. I spent my birthday in bed. I only left my birthday bed twice, once to eat breakfast, once to eat dinner. That's big Taurus energy. Um, yeah. Oh, Wendy, your birthday is Tuesday and your daughter gave you COVID. You don't have a daughter anymore. I'm so sorry. We're done with her. Oh, wait, how old is she? Can we? No, no, I don't think. Listen, I can't tell how old you are. I was gonna say she's probably young, but I have no idea. Woo! Okay. Let's see. Oh, what's going on? Ooh, direct auction Chicago. Ask antique dealers where they go. Oh, my mom's in Bacalar on the water, showing up an hour and 15 minutes late to say happy birthday. It'd be your own people. Oh, this is a great question. I saw this. Oh, we haven't. Oh, rewind. Rewind. Okay, so hold on. Where'd this go? I think my thing is having problems right now. I hope you guys can see me. Big Taurus energy. Here's big Taurus energy happening. Okay. Um, if you're not on my email list, you should be. How do you get there? Maybe I don't know. I'm about to tell you all in a second. How do you get to me? And I'm gonna tell you why you need to know how to get on my email list. I should never drink and whatever I'm doing here, but I'm gonna do it every time. Where is the This is stupid. I think this will work. Let me see. Let's see if this works. You know, I emailed you guys if you're on my email list this week. Some of you guys are not on my email list. I don't know why. Okay, I'm gonna give you this link. drop it in the chat. Sometimes you just need a friend to tell you what the deal is. Okay, so join my email list. ConvertKit had a, nope. I did not say that. Pretend I did not say that. My computer's not being very responsive right now. But I can't tell if it's the internet being slow. There we go. There we go. In my email list, Safety Wing had a contest. If you get my email list, you already know what I'm telling you guys. Safety Wing had a contest, and they sent everybody who's like an ambassador for them. I don't know what they call the people. Whatever. A link and was like, if people sign up using your link, if they sign up for the contest using your link, they can win a trip to Mexico City for 30 days. And if someone who wins under you wins, then you win a trip to Mexico City for 30 days too. And I laughed because Safety Wing, I know they must have hundreds of people that sent this email to. And I was like, and what would I even do with a trip to Mexico City? Pero the way the world works, I got an email on Friday saying that someone who signed up under me was the person who was randomly selected. And she got the email. It was her birthday. It was her birthday. So if you got the email from me saying, this is how you enter a contest, you should have entered. You really should have entered. But they'll do it again, so you have other chances to do it in the future. So the person who won emailed me back. It was her birthday when she's birthday was the day before mine. She got the email on her birthday that she won the trip for airfare, insurance, and a month stay in a hostel, a private room in a hostel in Mexico City. And I'm super excited for her. Yay. And because she got the email that day, I got the same email saying, because she won, you won a trip to Mexico City. But I'm not staying in a hostel like in Mexico City when I have an apartment in Mexico. I'm just not doing that. So I asked them, and you guys are getting a scoop first. I don't have an answer yet. I asked them if they can choose another winner from the people who signed up under me. So, because I like being fully transparent with you guys, the rules are if you can't do it, they'll give you money. So the email to me was like, if you don't want the trip, we will give you cash. And I was like, I like cash. In fact, I got to give these girls some cash. But what if instead of giving me cash, someone else who signed up under using my link, someone else who signed up using my link gets the prize? So it'd be two winners instead of one. So we'll see. I emailed them that on Friday, and I haven't heard back. I've never worked with them before, but the email was the lawyer in me, email was very transparent. It was they have a lawyer on their side, so it was very like clearly written. Like the rules were very fair. It was very transparent. It was, this is the way we do things. Very much, you can tell like, where's the lawyer? There's no negotiating. Like you get A or B and there's no negotiating. You can't come in here later asking about what if I do some blah, blah. No. These are the things, you have this long to use it. It's open to the, and I was like, I like that. It makes me trust it. Like if you have clearly written rules, I'm more likely to trust it. And so I feel good about it. I feel like if two people get that, they'll have really great experiences in the city. So I'm hoping that two people get it. Chanel says that she was thinking luxury accommodations. I would do that in my own town, not for 30 days, right? 3, yes. 5, yes. After that, I want to see my bed. My bed is right over there. I would like to go to, like, if it was 30 days, but they didn't have to be consecutive, yes. I would be like, the price is mine. Thank you guys. Bye. But 30 consecutive days? Absolutely not. Where is my bed? So I'm definitely hoping that a second person will be able to win. Because that would be super cool. And I think that like, not to say that like the money wouldn't be life changing, I don't want to dismiss that, but I feel like 30 days in Mexico City being fully paid for, like airfare paid for, accommodations paid for, is a life, but potentially a life-changing experience. And if I can give that to, I didn't give it, if Safety Wing can give that to two people in my audience, I think that's really cool. And so it's up to them. I told them, like, if you refuse to, I will take the cash. But my preference is that someone in the audience, you pick someone else who applied using my link to get it. So there may be more good news next week. We don't know. We'll see. Fingers crossed. Oh, and is Kyoka here? Kyoka, if you're here, please report. Oh, Francis is packed just in case. I'd be like, no, Francis can't go because she has. No kidding. No kidding. Okay, so someone I know won a trip to Edinburgh. She comes tomorrow morning. Someone in our community won a trip to Edinburgh. I'm not gonna say her name because I don't know if she's made it public. If she has, then you know who it is. I don't know, or you can say who it is if she said it publicly. She won a trip to Edinburgh, because she saw it on Kyoka's story, and I think Kyoka saw it on my story. I think that's how Kyoka knew about it. I'm taking credit for that, and the person who won is giving me credit because she thinks that's how Kyoka knows about it too. It could be another way, but I'm gonna say no because it was like a very small competition. So someone is in Edinburgh right now with their accommodations, and it's like a tour thing happening. Or she's in Edinburgh tomorrow morning, thanks to me. And someone, one or two people will be in Mexico City, thanks to me. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling the spirit of giving. Giving. Yes. Feeling very good. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So Safety Wing is going to do more stories, so more cities. So I'm going to be sharing it again in emails. When I got the email saying, it's like I've never shared. I think they did a competition in the past, but not recently. It's probably been a few years since I've done it, because they talked about previous winners. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is cool. And it's Mexico City, and my audience a lot of my audience is with me because they're interested in Mexico City. When I saw it, I was like, cool, but whatever. I got that email and I was like, me? I won a trip to down the street from my house? Yay. But it's super cool. The fact that she won on her birthday, I was like, this was all aligned. All aligned. It was meant to happen. It was meant to happen. All right. Miss Jill wants to know what's for dinner tonight. It depends on how much of this I drink. Clearly not a lot so far. There's Nando's next door. I'm also eating cake, so maybe cake is for dinner. The world is full of possibilities. I don't have an answer. Yesterday I had a plan. And here's my plan. I asked the concierge for restaurant recommendations. The first one, I clicked on the first one on the list. The first one on the list, I could eat dinner at 4:30 or 10 p.m. The second one I could eat at 6. So I was like, I guess I'm going to the second one. Because what I look like trying to sit down to dinner at 10. Like I'd pick 4:30 before I'd pick 10. Because I don't know how y'all live your life, but I want to be asleep. 10? Sitting down to dinner? Oh, there's also a thing they do here, which I don't experience in Mexico, because Mexico's a very much sit and chill until you feel like leaving kind of place. Unless it's like a tasting menu or something. It's like very specific, like, Pujol and Quintonil, both who just got their first Michelin stars, 2 stars each for the two of them. First Michelin stars being awarded in Mexico were awarded this week. Some of the restaurants are janky, I'm gonna tell you. Not those two. even though I don't love Bohol. But some ones that like Adelia and I went to in Oaxaca, not good. We were both like, now who did what now? It's not even good. We both left dinner that night like we got food in our bellies. So to hear that they won one Michelin star, nah. Any hoodle. I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, yeah. Oh, the thing they do here is like they tell you exactly what time you need to be up outside that table. Like your reservation is at 6. It was like 6 to 7:45. I was calling late for my fun fact. I called the restaurant on the way there because I was running late, and they said, "It's okay, someone's at your table now." So I'm thinking the restaurant is packed, it's slammed. You'll be able to sit when you get here, you'll be able to stay at your table until, and he like told me the departure time I needed to get out. And I was like, y'all real wild for that. Down to a second. So I get inside and I'm like, where's the pack? There's one person in the dining room. There's one table in the entire dining room. So I think they have 2 different dining rooms, from what I could see. The one I ate in had at least 8 or 9 tables. There was one table occupied. And there were like I sat at it was only me, but I sat at a table for 2. There were multiple other tables for 2. So when you say somebody's at my table, when there are all these empty tables in here, what what do we mean? What do we mean by that? What's going on? Okay, so this happened in Glasgow. I ate the best lobster I've ever eaten in my life. I need to tell y'all the name of that place, and I don't have it readily available. But if you go to Glasgow, I know what's in my photos. Let me see if I search for lobster, if Apple will know what I want. Baby, I don't know what they did to the lobster. Anchorline. Anchorline is along a row of streets that look right by St. George, by St. George Square. They all look like they're tourist traps, but I was told that it's because all the banks are there, so all the bankers eat there. I don't know who finessed the lobster and caressed the lobster and took such care of the best lobster in my life in Glasgow at the Anchorline. I ate the lobster and fries. When I was there like, oh, how y'all do this? How y'all do this? Because I don't get it. Amazing. But I walked in and the guy was like blocks the door and says, "Do you have a reservation?" And I was like, "No." He was like, and turns back. They have at least 40 visible tables. 2 were taken. What do y'all do? That is my pet. I have this. It makes me want to turn around, except I was really hungry at that point. It makes me want to turn around and walk somewhere else. When you're like, "Do you have a reservation?" Ain't nobody in here, dog. Like, I know not all these tables. Like, there's no. And it wasn't even at it was like 2 p.m. Right? It wasn't at a time. Yes, because it was 2 p.m. It's not lunch. It's not dinner. You have to be open. Nobody's in. It's not like you're gonna have a dinner rush right after. It's too. I was like, no, I don't have a reservation. But I see a table that might have what are we I hate. And I know, but some restaurants just think it makes them seem more exclusive. It's my pet peeve. I don't like fake exclusive things. You have tables. You don't have to front it's the same reason I don't like whatchamacallums, speakeasies. Either you have room for me or you don't. Why do I have to know the knock, turn 3 times, and coo like a baby bird? What are we doing? I don't like it. So yes, but the lobster at Anchorline, excellent. Apparently they like it if you have a reservation. What What is this? All right. I'm gonna get back to birthday questions. Oh yeah, Aileen says I wasn't impressed with Nando's. Oh no. Nando's isn't about being impressive. I wasn't impressed with Nando's either. It's about being close, like literally right outside and easy, right? I don't have to go inside and sit down and talk to people and all that stuff. Let's see. Lobster at Anchor. Listen, so the front desk manager at my hotel told me that the lobster mac and cheese was good, but I'm a gluten-free girly, and so I was like, and I'm dairy-free. No matter what you might have heard about me, my love for gelato. So I was like, lobster mac and cheese might kill. Like, I'd like to be upright for the rest of the day, and I feel like lobster mac and cheese, the combination of like the gluten from the pasta and the cheese from the mac. No. That would put me out. So I was like, oh, but you have lobster in other forms. Give me one of those. Amazing. Okay. And Nichelle, I will go with this point if a speakeasy has been around since the Prohibition days. But I'm talking about speakeasies that aren't in places that had Prohibition and speakeasies that popped up like last year. You just want your bar to have an exclusive feel, and you're forcing it. I think there are lots of, yeah, I'm just going to leave that there. I was about to get into discrimination and whatever, but we don't need to do that. We can ignore that right now. Let's see. What's another question? Oh, have I ever taken the twins on trips with me? No, because as long as I've known them, I was a poor college student, law student, or hated my job, or they were in college. Like, since I've been traveling the world, they have been in their last years of high school or in college. So no, they know they can always come stay with me, but we've never gone on trips together. I did tell my bestie that I would take her 2 kids on a trip with me separately. One girl, one boy, separately. When we decide that they're old enough for a trip like that, and they get to pick where and all that other good stuff. So that'll probably happen this first one will happen in the next 2 years sometime. But like, they're at that age now where the hormones are really like kicking in. The older one is. And I need to get to the point where like the hormones kind of settle, where like you're used to having whatever's going on in your body going on, not when you're brand new to it. Because like, you can talk crazy to your parents or be like moody all day with you, but I'm not taking you out the country to be moody with me. Love you, mean it. Love you. We can be at home and I'm be in that basement room with you upstairs with my door closed when you get moody, because I don't need it. It's not for me. So we're waiting for the hormones to like not go away, right? But like for them to have better coping mechanisms than they have right now. Jazzy says, where's the kimono these days? The kimono is still in my closet, in my suitcase. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it next. Who I'm supposed to give it to. I think I know who I'm supposed to give it to. I just don't know when I'm going to see that person. Naturally, I can think of who it should naturally go to next, but I don't know when I'm going to see that person. So this kimono is coming home with me in my giant suitcase. All right. Tanisha, I'm sure you already heard, I'm in Edinburgh. I head to Cardiff tomorrow on a 6-hour train ride because there's no direct. Not only is there no direct train from Edinburgh to Cardiff, I don't know their budget airline system here, and usually budget airline systems don't show up on the aggregator websites. But I searched on kayak for flights from Edinburgh to Cardiff, and everyone had a layover. And a lot of them were like Amsterdam. I'm not leaving the country and going through immigration to enter the country again and go through immigration. I'm just not. I'm just not. So I'm gonna be on a 6-hour train ride because, and the plane, the plane was cheaper, cheaper. No, the plane was cheaper than the train. The train was more expensive than the plane. The bus was super cheap. The bus was like 20 pounds, maybe $23. But it took 16 hours. And normally I would be like, okay, well, whatever. I looked up the drive between the two cities and it's less than 7 hours. So why does the bus take 16 hours? Because when I do the math, unless you're stopping somewhere for like 4 hours, what are we, unless you stop every 13 minutes on the drive, why does a 7-hour drive need an extra 9 hours tacked onto it? Can we talk about that? Or we can't talk about that? We can't talk about that. It's very confusing to me. So figuring out how to get from point A, when I first planned this leg, I saw that there was a train. I didn't see that there wasn't a direct train. That's what I should look for. Did not do enough detail search to see that there wasn't a direct train. I got to transfer. You know how hard it is in a train station to transfer with giant luggage? So I don't love that, but I'm doing it. But all the other stuff, I was like, what's this? What's this? What's this? So I was surprised at how much, even though y'all want to be the United Kingdom, it was so hard to get from one city to another. And like none of the ways made sense logically. Why is it so expensive on the train? Why are there no direct flights? And the reason I didn't dig any further, and if you don't know this, because my bag is so heavy, I can break it up into 2 bags. But even though the budget carriers may have a direct flight, I didn't look into them. European budget carriers, if you're unaware, love to nickel and dime you. And so you see the initial price, but it's not the end price. And between all of my bags, I easily have 100 pounds of luggage. Easily. I feel like doing all that. Let me just take it on a train where no one's going to weigh it and then there's no conversation. As long as I can get on a train myself, there's not a lot of conversation about it. So that's why I'm doing that. All right. Let me check the live comments and then I'm going. I bring the kimono to Fiji. Okay. Because whoever gets the Fiji gets a kimono is going to Fiji. So I'm not sure if that's the person I'm thinking of or a different person. Because I don't know what's happening. But I am going to Fiji. I'm in the US and I'm in Mexico for 2 weeks. And then I head to Anaheim for a short time for a conference. And then Fiji. All right. Let's see. In first class, yes. No, not euros, pounds. So it's even more. It's even more money. Why are we doing this? What's the point? Oh, that sounds terrible. They gave me a note on the website. They gave us a note about the elevator being down, but not about any protest shutdown. So I will do that. I can't. Like you weighed my handbag and my carry-on and my bag. I'm not gonna play that game. Put me on a train. And I might have a layover. I might have to transfer and do that. No. Put me on a train. But I would have taken a bus before I taken a plane. But that 16 hours was crazy for a 7-hour ride. What are y'all doing? All right. What are questions I haven't answered? In all years of travel, do you ever miss the familiarity and conveniences of living in the US? Sometimes. I don't think there are, I miss being around people who get me, right? Who like come from a common enough background where like we see each other. Like I can't think of a hotel worker in the US being like, yeah, girl, just leave the door open, it'll be fine. Right. And there's nothing wrong with the fact that she said that. We just have, it just reminded me of like how distinctly different our backgrounds are. Since I've been sitting here, hour and 46 minutes, we probably had 8 people walk by my door. And yes, there would not be that much in at night, but it only takes one person to see an open door and wonder what's going on. So yeah, so that's one of the things where it's like I miss being around people who get me. Sometimes I miss being around people who, in some places, who speak English, honestly. And not because I don't want to learn the language, I just that when I'm communicating or attempting to get through a day in a language that is not one that I am fluent in, it takes a lot of brain power, right? And that's my choice to be somewhere where I have to do this brain power. And so I'm not asking other people to change. I'm just saying sometimes it's exhausting and like being around English speakers when that is the only language you're fluent in is just easier. And that's one of the things I miss about the US sometimes, but like not enough to move back there. Yes, in all my years of travel, I do miss the familiarity and convenience of living in the US, but not enough to move back to the US. Also, your politicians are terrible people. Like, we beating on kids at their colleges? Like, that's, I'm laughing because it's so wild to me. It's so wild to me. These kids pay 90, $100,000 a year, 50,000, $20,000 a year to go to the school, and y'all beating them down. And y'all know how I feel about Mayor Adams. You're working with people from outside of the US to figure out how to squash the children in the US. Hell ain't hot enough, boy. And we got that old man president. And when he was running for election, I was very much like, we don't need to continue to talk about how old he is if he can do the job. But now I'm like, another 4 years of this, like a lot of it just felt ageist, and I didn't want to engage in that. But now, because I hate him, I don't care. I don't care. It's time for us to get a new batch of presidential candidates. A new batch. I hate both of you. Hate. So no, not enough to move back there. Random, but you asked, so here we go. All right. Mm-mm. Because they're so old, I have some internal hope, and neither of them will make it to election day. Natural causes, of course. And this sounds terrible, but like, I don't want either one of you. You're both terrible humans. And quiet as is usually kept, Biden been a terrible human for a very long time. A lot of us pretend he's not because of the party he represents. But when you see him smug in the Anita Hill hearings, talking crazy to her, we got any more candidates in the back? Can you double check? because this is insane. Absolutely insane. All right, I see your questions. Going through the comments. All right. Do you have new goals to achieve going into the next year? I'd like to make some more money. Okay, wait. I say that and I want y'all to know, since living a life where I make money how I want to, when I want to, and with the people I want to, my life has changed in ways I cannot measure. Like taking control of the way I make money has only changed my life positively. And so I'd like to do more of that. You know, I'm never gonna tell you money's not gonna make you happy. Because maybe it'll help, right? Yes, you can be depressed with a pile of money, but it's probably not the money making you depressed. Probably. It's probably something else, right? Money can't buy happiness. It can buy freedom in a lot of ways, right? Money's been buying freedom for as long as money's been around. And freedom would make a lot of us happy. So, like specific goals, no, I would like to continue to make money in ways that bring me joy with people that I want to serve, in communities that I love and that have real, true love for me. That's my goal. Like, listen, yesterday I was gonna make a list of things I want to do this year, and like, even as I thought about it, I made an Instagram post yesterday, and there's barely any caption, and I was like, you know what? Like, this is how I want to do Instagram this year. Like, not thinking about like what I need to post for the business and strategy, and no, because I didn't do it this past year much because it wasn't. I felt like it always had to like be a thing. I don't want it to be a thing. I don't want anything to be. I just want it all to be easy. I want it to be easy. So I want to continue making like easy money and living a good life. That's it. That's it. All right. Money helps in a lot of ways. Okay, Michelle has two questions. First is, do you prefer to solo travel? And next is, how do you feel about girls trips? Yes, I prefer to solo travel because I'm an introvert, right? Like I can travel, like I've been traveling for 2 months. I'm on day 50 something, I told you. So a little less than 2 months. I can't think of a single human I want to be with for 2 months. I don't know. Listen, I say this and I mean it, and it's not shade. I don't know how y'all married people stay married. Y'all with the same person every day. Your kids come home every night. My God. That's honestly like not me acting. That is not me trying to be shady towards y'all. I know you love them. And like once they cook or you pick them up from wherever you pick them up from or do whatever you do, you love them and that love is just bound forever. I can't think of a single person I want to be with all day, day after day. So yes, I like to solo travel. It also means that like today when I woke up and I was like, oh, the weather's kind of crap. I don't feel like going outside today. Actually laid in bed. I was like, let me think about it until like noon. So and there's no one saying like, get up, make a decision. What are you gonna? I'm just like, I'll think about it, and when I make a decision, I'll make a decision, and that's it, right? Not a lot of conversation, no back and forth, because it's just me. I like that. The terrible taxi driver asked me why I was traveling solo. Don't I have friends? And I was like, this is before we got on the lesbians. I was like, yeah. Mm. So yes, I definitely prefer solo traveling. I like girls trips. I think I'm a girl's girl, and so I like girls trips. I like being with women. Um, but not everybody. The issue for me with girls trips is that not everybody is going to be a great mix together for long periods of time, and it's hard to know that until the trip happens, right? Maybe you guys meet for drinks and it's fine, but after like 36 hours with somebody, you want to get away from them. Same reason I want to travel solo, right? And so that is I think the biggest issue I have with girl trips is kind of like the unknown, but I like them. I like being with whatever. So like the way if you consider a trip that Stephanie and I took earlier this year, a girls trip with our moms and my godmom, it worked really well because we all had different rooms. And I intentionally made sure our rooms weren't like all of us together, right? We're all on the same floor. It's a small enough floor. We're no more than like 5 rooms away from somebody. But when you're ready to do your own thing, you can do your own thing. Like we had a group chat. Who wants to go? Oh, I'm going to this. Do you want to come? Yes, I'll see you there. No, whatever. Does anyone who wants to meet for dinner tonight? I'm making reservations. Anyone who chimes in goes to dinner. But like, we don't have to be with each other all the time. Perfect girls trip for me. My friend did a singles, kind of a singles cruise, kind of not, on Virgin. I think it's one of the ones where you don't pay extra for, like it's a singles, we don't pay the single supplement. So there were a lot of singles on the cruise. I don't know it's specifically marketed as a singles cruise. And she went with a friend, but they were on, one of those big cruise ships, and they were on different floors and like way different sides of the hallway. So they never saw each other. And I'm like, that doesn't really feel like what we did felt like a girls trip because it was a small boat. And we were like, like we had almost not every meal together, but probably 2/3 of the meals together. But if we didn't see each other, it wasn't a big deal. But like my friend said, oh, we never saw, like we hardly ever saw each other on the boat. And I'm like, we don't need to be on the boat at the same time if we're not going to see each other on the boat. We're just solo traveling. Anyhow, it's like that sweet spot in the middle where we're not together all the time, but we're not completely doing our own things. That's a good thing for me. Oh, another time I went with a friend and we stayed in the same hotel, but different rooms, but like across like the courtyard from each other. So we could like open the window. Like if my window was open, she could yell at me into my window because like directly across. Okay. You want to go get snacks? Yes. Let's go. Meet me in the lobby in 5. Perfect girls trip for me. All right. So yes, I think it boils down to like separate spaces. That might be the answer for me. Love a girls trip though. Mm. Okay, Tracy says girls trip are now part of her self-care. It is about curating the right group, but it's really hard to do. Miss Jill, I talked about Turkey, I think 2 weeks ago. I went to Istanbul and I talked about it. So if you look back at my old videos, there's one about Turkey 2 weeks ago. You're moving there next month? What city are you moving to? I did love Istanbul, but don't let that deter you. I think people who live there have a different experience than people who vacation there. Let's see. So yeah, that's one of the reasons Exodus Summit did a trip to Morocco last year was because we wanted, we heard it wasn't an easy trip for solo travelers, although we did talk to some women who traveled there solo and loved it. And we wanted to be in the numbers. What I'm gonna tell y'all is it's not an easy country to plan things in. And So even if you're with other people, if you're part of a planning committee, it can still be terrible. But the Exodus Summit ladies made it fun and good. But the work, I don't want to get me there again. Terrible. Leslie Moore might have the answer. I live in Texas. Like, I can imagine living in like in the same neighborhood, right? But y'all live in different states. Listen. Mm-mm. I like that. Marilyn, I see your invitation. You know I'm gonna take you up on it. I don't get to Jamaica enough. All right. Bye, Shan. I will see you soon. If you're in London, I'm gonna host someone is going to host an Exodus Summit meetup probably next week. I'd probably start working on that. So come on out. All right, back to the questions. Did these two? What advice would you give to your younger self? This is gonna sound corny. And I'm not sure if I'm even like stealing this because I know it was used heavily by a specific community a while ago, but like it gets better. It gets better. It gets worse. But also over like the span of time, life, if you let it, can get better and it can get easier, right? Like I feel like it can always be hard if you're always fighting where you are, right? It's part of the reason where like my goal is just like money, but how it comes, whatever, right? Like I'm not someone who's like, I need to, like, I write down every day. So like when I'm traveling like twice a week, a list of things that like I want to manifest. Um, but then I close the book and move on with my day. I told you that I believe that like knowing where you want to go is important in order to get there, but like grinding isn't necessarily the way to get there. So I write down what I want and I move on. Right? Like I have a goal amount of money I'd like to receive this year. Not get paid through work, not earn. I'd like to receive this amount of money this year. Where it comes from is not my business. But hello, universe, send this amount of money my way. Right? And so that's really where like my energy is focused now. And I think it will be for a long time. It's like, it doesn't, for the most part, as long as it's not hurting anybody else, it doesn't really matter. I'm not focused on the hows as much as I am on the outcomes. If somebody wants to hand me a pot of cash, I'm counting that towards money received. And it's different from like, I need to earn this money or my business needs to make this money. My money goal has nothing to do with me making money. It's just receiving money. I don't care where it comes from. It's fine. It's fine. So yeah, I think that like letting things be easy and not like stressing about things you can't change is advice I would give myself. It gets better when you like allow it to get better. When we stop holding on to our attachment to the outcome, we start letting things flow, they'll flow. May not be on your schedule, but they'll flow. All right. What y'all talking about in the comments? All right. Ooh. All right, Marilyn, go to sleep. You're up for the count? Go sleep. I'm about to I'm not about to nap after this. I'm probably gonna try to finish that bottle because I am not a quitter. I am not a quitter. Any new things you have on your plate for this new chapter? I told you guys after the yacht experience, I want more luxury in my life. I want more luxury hotels in my life. Every time I walk into a hotel now, it is not a luxury hotel. Like this hotel that I'm in, yesterday's taxi driver, a really nice one, told me that before COVID, this was like the hotel in the city. It's not, there's another hotel that's become the hotel. He's like, this was the hotel in the city. And I'm like, it was built 21 years ago and my carpet is 21 years old. So he was like, how was it inside? And I was like, it's nothing wrong. He was like, wait a minute. I was like, like it looks like it hasn't been refurbished in 20 years. A lot of places that would be fine, but it's not like the place where I ate dinner yesterday was like a manor house where you can tell they furnished it like it was, I don't know, like the 1800s, right? I can't date furniture. But this is not like that. This is just like the 2000s when they opened it. The furniture really screams 2000s. There's nothing wrong, but it just looks so dated. The carpet, you can tell, has been here. I stayed in a hotel in Turkey just for 2 nights. And I was walking down the hall and I was like, this is really, really nice carpet. Like I notice as I take steps down the hall how nice this carpet is. In my brain, I thought the last time I was walking down a hallway with carpet this nice, it was the newly refurbished JW Marriott in Mexico City. Readers, listeners, viewers, I was in the JW Marriott in Istanbul, the one on the water, Marmara Sea. So yeah, so I was in a JW Marriott. Like, dang, this is nice carpet. It reminds me of another JW Marriott. Listen, the plushness under your feet of feeling like you're walking on the cloud. There's no padding under this carpet. It looks old, slightly stained. It's not like terrible, but it's just not, I want to upgrade the hotels in my life in this next year. Between the yacht and like the JW I stayed at in Istanbul or just outside of Istanbul, stunning. Service, cats, it was just great everywhere. Yeah, I was like, whenever I stay anywhere else, if it doesn't reach this level, I'm like, who would do this? Who made these? I booked myself here. I did this. Oh yes, because I looked at what the other hotels cost, and I realized, not for 2 months, baby. We're not doing that. So that's definitely something I would like to incorporate more of in my life. But I've told myself I'm a list of things that I want that can come to me through sponsorships. Hello, JW Marriott. Let's talk about it. Hello, Ritz-Carlton. Let's have a plan. Should we get on a call? We should hop on a call. But yeah, no, I was like, I had stayed in these other hotels. Right? Sometimes it's like there's nothing wrong. It's just not what I want. Sometimes it's just not what you want. And you should be able to get what you want. All right. What's a food, dish, or restaurant anywhere in the world you'd like to try this year? I can't think of anything. I've eaten a lot of things in my life. Oh, I'm going to Australia in July, so maybe I'll try kangaroo. If it hops, skips, or jumps, I'll probably try it. Not all forms, right? Like I'll eat, lamb, but I don't eat haggis. I don't actually like lamb for the most part. Lamb chops sometimes, but most times, no. So Yeah. I know someone's watching this now and cursing my name, but put it on a plate, baby. I'll eat it. I'll try it at least. So yeah, I think maybe kangaroo in Australia or something. Not like koala, right? Like now that. But I don't want to eat anything that is like extinct or going extinct. But short of that, I'll try it once or twice. Do you read on your trips or watch movies? How do you pass time? I tell myself I'm going to read and then I watch movies. So like I use Libby to borrow books so that I don't have to carry books with me. Heavy suitcase. Um, and so I'm always like requesting books on Libby, especially if I hear about them. I'll add them to like I'm in the Broward County Library System, so there's always like a hold. There's always a hold. Every book you gotta wait for because they have like one copy of each book on the planet. They have one copy of half the books on the planet. Because a lot of books they just don't have. And so I'll request it, and then when it comes available, I'm like, yeah, let me download it, and then I don't read it. I'm watching a movie instead. But like tomorrow on the train, like I downloaded a bunch of movies so that I could watch them because it's 6 hours on the train. It'd be a great time to read, but I'm probably not going to read for 6 hours. All right. We entered this question. I'll be 55 this year. How does it feel to be so young? It feels weird because I know I'm young, but I also know I'm old. Right? I think that's good enough. I think that's it. I know I'm young and I know I'm old at the same time. This is middle age. It's squarely middle age. The kids think I'm ancient. Why are you so old? In fact, I'm remembering one of the twins when she was like 4, and they're 22 now, was like, go ahead and get married. What are you doing? Why are you wasting your life away? I gotta push you down these stairs or something, little girl. What's going on? Um, Maybe 5. I'm trying to remember where they were when we had this conversation, what city they lived in. First of all, why are you in my business? Second of all, how dare you? How dare you? But yeah, the kids think you're ancient. The older people generally don't, I mean, they don't respect you, but like, I'm at the age where you have to start parenting your parents. And if you have kids, you still have to take care of your kids. So, right in the in between. Okay. You tried to catch the boat to Inverness to Ireland? I was told this one leaving Scotland, I didn't make it there. Try to catch the boat to Inverness to Ireland. In Inverness, I took the boat from Ireland to Scotland, and baby, when I tell you, it was a luxury ferry. I was like, what? Why is this so nice? I'm confused. Plush. The least luxurious thing was the like casual dining room. Now, when they said casual dining room, I was looking for like the restaurant, like the less casual dining room, just out of curiosity. I did not see it. But they had spa, they had and like nice. Mm. Where am I going next, Simone? I'm going to Cardiff in Wales tomorrow. Mm-mm. All right. Yeah, some of y'all get it. We're right. We're right in the in between. It's crazy. Crazy. All right. Cosette wants 5 lessons from my life, and I don't know that I have 5 lessons for you today. Free Palestine. Believe women. Support Black women. Being kind is probably the answer. America is not what it wants us to believe it is. Okay, I think that's it. I'm not going to call those lessons, but that's what I got for you today. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Crystal asks, listen, I like the way y'all answer questions, and you know we can talk about men without centering them. I don't really know, because I don't talk to men like this. Everyone's been on in Ireland and in Scotland. Every time except for one time. So we're gonna count that as twice. I walked down the street 3 times with my big suitcase. 2 out of 3 times, when I passed men, one was in the rain. The men were like, "Where are you going, and how can we help you?" Once in Ireland and once in Scotland. Where are you going, and what can we do? Because you look like a fool. Like this, what's happening here? So there's that, which I'm not going to say I don't experience in the US. I'm saying I don't remember experiencing it as frequently as I did in those countries, where someone is like, you're not even going in the direction I'm going in, but you look like you need help. So there was that. There's a certain kindness over here that I like. I've seen large ones, I've seen small ones. But I've dealt with some kind ones. All right. Stephanie says my type. Mine too. I like kind. I love you guys a lot. I really appreciate you being with me here on another video about nothing. About nothing. But we're here. It's a birthday. Next week, I'll probably have a guest again. Who will it be? Who knows? Oh, wait. Request to you guys. If you are a Black woman and you are the LGBTQ, anywhere in there, and you want to talk about your experience living abroad, can you email me at hello@rashidadow.com? Because I have a request for a video. And I don't think I've ever had a video that centered the queer experience. It's time for that. Someone asked me to link to one, and I was like, I've talked to women who represent one of those letters along the way or somewhere, in the great spectrum of life. But I don't think we've centered the conversation around that experience. So I'm going to put, nope, that is not it. Child, the email address I just wrote, why did I have 2 ats? All right, hello@rashidadow.com. Email me, tell me a little bit about your experience living abroad, where you are, and as much as you want to share about your dating/living experience as a queer woman. And if you don't want to talk about it, it's probably not a good idea for you to volunteer yourself, because that's what we're going to talk about. Okay, so y'all got it? All right. I think oh yeah, next month is Pride Month. I wasn't even thinking about that. Y'all really be lining me up and telling me how to really do this YouTube thing, and I appreciate you. So yes, maybe for June, let's have some queer women in June. Yes, let's do it. I don't know what that looks like though. I like it might be some repeat people. We'll see. We'll see what happens on the channel. I know y'all are out there. Okay. Until next time. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.